Hello and welcome. The Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy was created in 2023 by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, to harness the vast potentials of Nigeria's ocean resources. This strategic move aligns with the federal government's renewed hope agenda and its drive to diversify the economy away from oil dependence. Since its inception, the ministry has recorded several milestone achievements as it worked towards positioning Nigeria as a leading maritime hub in Africa. Today, we delve deeper. This episode features a comprehensive report from the technical session of the program, where various departments within the ministry presented updates on their activities. We also capture candid contributions from stakeholders as they discuss operational challenges and the broader issues affecting the sector. All the details are coming up right after this short break. Stay with us.
For more than 5 decades, we have empowered and protected the interests of shippers in the nation's maritime industry. Our focus is to facilitate trade, regulate tariffs and rates, as well as handle shippers' complaints on cargo losses, damage and non-delivery. We offer dispute resolution mechanism for shipping and trade disputes between shippers and service providers. We are Nigerian Shippers Council, Nigeria's port economic regulator, your gateway to a thriving maritime sector. Nigerian Shippers Council will meet you at the port of your need.
Welcome back. You are watching The Shipper, your flagship maritime program on television, proudly brought to you by Nigerian Shippers Council, the nation's port economic regulator. I am Victoria Yavala. The Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy has continued to make remarkable progress with initiatives that are significantly impacting the nation's economy and global maritime reputation. Let's hand over to Lucy Yambi, who will now present the full details of the report as compiled by our correspondent, Additional Abiodun.
It was a convergence of key industry players at the technical session of the Stakeholders Engagement Meeting held in Lagos, organized by the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. The session aimed to fast-track the implementation of the national policy on marine and blue economy through collaboration, transparency, and actionable feedback from industry stakeholders. In a presentation titled Stakeholders' Perspective and Policy Interpretation from Policy to Action, the Senior Special Advisor to the President on Policy Coordination, Hajia Bala Usman, represented by Ismail Okwonla, commended the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy for the success recorded towards the implementation of the new policy, while calling on the ministry to make concerted efforts to ensure that the policy is implemented.
Let me also indicate that this policy happens to be the first deliverable of the ministry among the 13 deliverables that was signed to by the Honorable Minister, Permanent Secretary, as well as Mr. President on the 3rd of November 2023, and now the policy is ready. So let me join all the respected participants who have now said that the work is not finished. What is next for us to also, just like we have joined, we have bring in synergy to develop the policy. We should put in greater effort to ensure that the policy is actually implemented. And I want to assure this very important gathering that my office will play a significant role in ensuring that the ministry is able to implement all the key deliverables in the policy. So already we started studying the policy. We look at areas that are already covered by the current deliverables of the ministry. We look at the uncovered area with a view to ensure that some key components of the policy are being tracked.
The Director, Fisheries and Aquaculture Department, Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, Mr. Umoragbon Wellington, spoke on his department's activities from 2024 to 2025.
Federal Minister of Marine and Blue Economy presented a memo to the National Council on Water Resources and Sanitation that was held at Uyo, and the ministry obtained approval for the replication of the Onyan Dam cage culture model on the panel waters nationwide to accelerate fish production. This led to the ministry collaborating, signing an MOU. The Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy signed an MOU with the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation. And thereafter, a joint action committee of the two ministries was formed, and they have since started work. They have submitted an interim report. With this, private sector can use some of our impounded water for the replication of Onya cage culture. This is to increase fish production. Under the 2024 appropriation, which was under the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, the ministry distributed fish feed to fish farmers in the Federal Capital Territory to support and boost fish production, with notable beneficiaries including the Cats Fish Farmer Association of Nigeria, CAFAN, the Fisheries Cooperative Federation of Nigeria, and other key stakeholders. As a matter of fact, the same exercise will take place in Oshogbo. We are also going to distribute fish feed to empower fish farmers.
Also speaking, the Director of Maritime Services, Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, Dr. Mercy Ilori, in a presentation enumerated the milestone achievements recorded by the ministry. She also spoke on the activities of the agencies under her supervision.
As we all know, the department handles issues that relate to moving the sector forward. And as we will recall, yes, the Honorable Minister, the first signed performance bond that he cascaded, after signing with Mr. President, he cascaded to the department and the heads of agencies. And we could see from his presentation, and we have been presenting so far, how far he has taken the sector to be the #1 front burner of the nation. We have procured and commenced the distribution of life jackets to 12 littoral states in the country. The flag off started with Niger State, moved to Bayelsa State. 12 states benefited, about 8 states have been completed, and the other 4 are to be underway. It's a total of 42,000 life jackets, about 3,500 per state of these 12 littoral states, while the remaining state is the next phase of direct interventions by the Honorable Minister. A round of applause for the Minister, because he was concerned particularly about the life that are daily lost due to both mishaps in the country.
The President, Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, CILT, Nigeria, Dr. Mfon Usoro, who was represented by Dr. Alban Igwe, member, Board of Directors of CILT, Nigeria, reiterated the need to look at the policy on dangerous goods that Nigeria faced with the International Maritime Organization, IMO.
The marine and blue economy is a crippling jurisdiction, legally speaking, because it's no longer devoted to marine alone. We see a jurisdiction that creeps to rail and creeps to land by virtue of the existence of dry ports. If we limit our dangerous goods regime to IMDG, we're missing out on what goes from the ports to Kaduna Dry Port to Kano Dry Port. So there'll be need for us to see a way of incorporating IMDG code, carriage of dangerous goods by road, ADR, and carriage of dangerous goods by rail, RID, in the annex that we are proposing. So I believe that maybe in conjunction with NIMASA, I've already whispered to the DG NIMASA that we may have to provide implementable annex to make sure we build capacity so that IMO themselves will know, because they are monitoring what we are doing under the blue economy regime, they will know that Nigeria is committed to actually complying with IMDG code, which is a compulsory regime under the Convention on Carriage of Dangerous Goods by Sea. We have also been participating in discussions and interventions through the policy stage, the drafting, the review, and up till now. And being an advocacy and capacity building institution, We are still committed to seeing the progress we have made so far sustained until we can beat our chest and say, yes, the marine and blue economy has arrived.
Dr. Chizoba Anyika, the National Publicity Secretary of the Chartered Institute of Transport Administration of Nigeria, assured of the Institute's commitment to manpower development by adding value to the nation's maritime industry and resources.
CIOTA is in charge of, we promote excellence and professionalism in the transport sector, and we're very delighted that we're part of this stakeholder engagement. Our intervention will be on the personnel development, human capacity development. We would like to applaud the Honorable Minister for the imminent disbursement of CVFF in terms of capacity development for indigenous vessel owners. This is very important in terms of certification, in terms of standards and ethics, in terms of capacity development, in terms of continuous innovation and research. In CIOTA, we have a lot of professionals, academia and industry stakeholders. One of us is even the MD of Nigerian Railway, because CIOTA cuts across all the modes of the transport sector. The premier chartered institute, Transport Institute in Nigeria. So we are very keen and committed in driving professionalism in this sector.
Other stakeholders also spoke at the meeting.
We are all aware that ships from Nigeria ranks among the best in the world. And we have been shipping out to US and Europe, basically. That's where the markets are. But recently we found out that it is necessary to open up other markets like China, Saudi Arabia, and mentioned Dubai, so that Europe cannot stand up anymore and say, we don't want Europe in Nigeria. And we all know what is happening in America with taxes. I'm sure China will want to say, okay, product from Nigeria. This is not a thing between company and China. It is country to country. And I'm asking that the ministry, the Honorable Minister, sir, to help so that export from Nigeria, of course we know what we are contributing to education as non-oil export, can move out freely from EU to US and beyond. China has population. I think we can take our product comfortably. We shouldn't be restricted. We have met the requirements for EU, which are very restricted. I don't think China should be.
I would like to move on to the area of training and capacity development. We have state chapters all over Nigeria. My organization, the Fisheries Cooperatives Federation of Nigeria. I'm happy the Federal Director of Fisheries is in this hall. Mr. Wellington, he knows us very well. Likewise, the State Director of Fisheries. We have been going around the country training young fishermen because we are professional fishermen. We have been going around the country training young fishermen because age is catching up with some of us that has been in the profession for years. Therefore, we would like the ministry to please assist us and partner with us in this regard. That is in the area of training.
It's not going to have a much engagement from the agencies, except MP and CPAS Council. But our work is beyond Port Authority or Port Corridor. We need to go to the state, Interact. So we need the support of INPA so that we can have this one achieved. We have the law that we can achieve. So we need that.
As somebody who was privileged to sail on the national shipping line, the Nigerian national shipping line of those days. And what I have seen today is really giving me joy. Under the leadership of the Honorable Minister, the door is opening for national carrier status, and that is what EMSWA, my company, is set out for. So we want to fly the Nigerian flag again. I mean, I remember vividly those days when we go to ports everywhere all over the world. You see Nigerian National Shipping Line, you see like 3 to 4 ships in the same port, and it was our pride. And even at sea, we meet ourselves and we, wave to each other. We call ourselves on the radio. We are very proud. And now, what we are seeing around, is giving us the impression in a little way. I mean, how many of us are still alive today? But I'm glad and glorifying God that some of us are still here. We have something we want to contribute to this profession. And this is why I'm so happy that this door is open.
The concept of marine and blue economy has two components. One component is the blue economy, and the other component is the administration of the marine spaces. Administration of the marine spaces is the bedrock of the success of the blue economy. And if we don't sanitize the marine spaces by way of regulation, we may not achieve as much when it comes to when stakeholders with their rights and things will come to the blue economy space to thrive in their business. I am advocating that stakeholders here, if you support me, to plead with our minister to go and appeal to the president to change his status from Minister of Marine and Blue Economy to the Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy and the coordinating Minister of the Blue Economy. With that, he will be in the center of control and leadership, which are two factors that help in driving a situation where things are heterogeneous and hydra-headed.
The Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy remains focused on strengthening its regulatory frameworks, enhancing port efficiency, and driving sustainable development to position Nigeria's maritime industry as a key contributor to the national economy.
Today's episode showcased the ongoing efforts to strengthen Nigeria's marine and blue economy. It is now time to hand over to Idowu Ogungbemi on our tidbit segment for local and international maritime news.
Good evening and welcome to the tidbit segment of The Shipper. I am Idowu Ogungbemi, and we've got some interesting stories bringing you key insights and updates from the maritime sector. Stay glued and let's get started. In its continued efforts to promote efficient cross-border trade and foster inter-agency collaboration, the Nigerian Shippers Council recently paid a working visit to the Nigerian Customs Service Command at Idiroko border, Ogun State. The visit was led by Ms. Adaura Nwono, Deputy Director, Trade Services, who represented the Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the Council, Dr. Pius Akuta Hemohe. She was received by Controller G. Otunla, Area Controller of the Nigeria Customs Service at Idiroko Command. The engagement focused on strengthening operational ties, identifying joint strategies to address trade barriers, and reinforcing ethical practices along the corridor. Discussions explored the role of both agencies in streamlining border processes and supporting the federal government's goal of boosting regional commerce. She reaffirmed the Council's commitment to enhancing collaboration with the Customs Service to advance cross-border trade facilitation and promote economic development. According to her, the Nigerian Shippers Council remains committed to supporting customs and other border agencies in creating a seamless trade environment. She added that the visit aimed to deepen the NSC and NCS relationship and contribute meaningfully to Nigeria's economic growth. In his response, Controller Otunla appreciated the Council's active role in promoting trade facilitation across Nigeria. He noted that the Customs remains open to collaboration with the Council and other stakeholders to ensure the smooth movement of goods, curb smuggling, and foster transparency at border points. As part of the visit, the Controller led the NSC delegation on a facility tour, including an inspection of the office space allocated to the Council for its proposed Border Information Center, a strategic initiative aimed at improving information flow, transparency, and compliance at the border. The visit reinforces the NSC's ongoing drive to engage with key actors in the trade and logistic chain and contribute to the development of a more efficient and accountable port and border ecosystem. We encourage you to follow our social media pages at NG Shippers on Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube for more of our latest updates, events, and information. Let's take a look at our complaint register for the week. The Nigerian Shippers Council has received 5 complaints. While 3 of these complaints have been resolved, 2 are still ongoing investigation. The complaints include issues with forgery and economic sabotage, unlawful seizure of truck, unprofessional service delivery, seizure of imported goods, and delayed shipment. We encourage stakeholders to visit our website at www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng for more information or to lodge their concerns. Now, let's switch our focus to the international maritime sector. The Port of Long Beach has celebrated 20 years of environmental excellence, highlighting major progress in cutting pollution while growing its cargo business. Since launching its green programs in 2005, the port has reduced diesel particulate matter by 92%, nitrogen oxide by 71%, and sulfur oxide by 98%, even as container traffic increased by 20%. To mark the milestone, the port released its Green Port Progress Report, showcasing the efforts that have made it one of the world's most sustainable seaports. The report outlines the port's environmental achievements and its roadmap toward zero-emission operations, including ongoing projects in clean energy, equipment electrification, and sustainable infrastructure. The Port of Long Beach plans to invest in hydrogen filling stations, electric charging for trucks and locomotives, and expanded shore power for ships. While challenges like funding and technology remain, port leaders say their commitment to environmental progress is stronger than ever. In another news, Kenya Port Authority has received recognition from a visiting delegation from the Republic of Korea for its crucial role in facilitating humanitarian aid across East and Central Africa. The commendation came during the arrival of the vessel MV Amira Sophie II at berth 14 at the port of Mombasa, carrying 25,812 metric tons of rice donated by South Korea to the World Food Programme. Korean ambassador to Kenya, Kan Yong-shik, who led the delegation, praised the improved efficiency at the port and reaffirmed Korea's commitment to enhancing cooperation with Kenya, particularly in exploring the blue economy. That wraps up this week's edition of Tidbit segment on The Shipper. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week with more insight from the maritime world.
For more than 5 decades, we have empowered and protected the interests of shippers in the nation's maritime industry. Our focus is to facilitate trade, regulate tariffs and rates, as well as handle shippers' complaints on cargo losses, damage and non-delivery. We offer dispute resolution mechanism for shipping and trade disputes between shippers and service providers. We are Nigerian Shippers Council, Nigeria's port economic regulator, your gateway to a thriving maritime sector. Nigerian Shippers Council will meet you at the port of your need.
The Shipper will continue to keep you updated on developments in the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. Do join us next week for another exciting episode of our program and follow us on social media at NG Shippers for more updates. Until then, have a swimmingly great week ahead.